Welcome back, guys. This is SubiFly, and today I'm doing a video of 2 weeks of straight use of the Surface Pro 2. As I've mentioned before, I was going to do a lot of follow-ups. Like I use this daily. I use this as my production heavy use Ultrabook on the Surface 2 and Surface Pro 2, and I'll tell you what I think about it and how well it's kept up. I haven't done any comparison yet. I will pick up the original Surface 2 and do a full comparison. But the first thing I do notice is the speed and the difference between the two. Huge difference, especially for someone that's a power user like myself. There is definitely a huge difference in regards of speed of programs that you use. I use a lot of programs to manage my infrastructure, and definitely a big, huge difference for sure. I also like the integration with the SkyDrive with the Surface Pro 2 in regards to the Windows 8.1, and that you'll also see that experience or have the same experience on the Surface original Surface Pro. But really, let me just give you an idea of what I used it when I was on my trip. The moment I left Seattle, went to in a flight to Honolulu, it was about 5 hours and 19 minutes or 20 minutes of flight. It actually lasted that whole time. Watching movies, going using my OneNote, pretty much anything, and it not only lasted the whole time, it lasted 2 days after I was there of normal use. Surfing the internet, watching a few YouTubes, and checking my email, replying to email, doing some work, and it lasts me additional 2 days. So as you can imagine, that actually got me over an average about 8 hours. Now the question that the others would have is the battery life, and in my opinion, as a heavy user, it lasts me 8 hours. To me, that's actually really good. Now, just keep in mind, I watched 2 videos on my way, and played a few games. My kids played the dot game. Let me just show you the drawing dots. They played that for maybe 30 minutes, and the resolution was about 40%. Of course, is automatic as well, automatic screen adjust. Apps, all your Windows apps that you may have on Windows 7 is for those of you guys having questions about those. XPs, some of my programs that was designed for XP, I was able to install here without a problem. Games were great, and I'm not a heavy game user or gamer on Ultrabooks. There's a few games like the Guns for Hire, always great. But let's get back to the Surface Pro 2 instead. One of the differences is storage. Running from my 128 on the original Surface Pro 2, Surface Pro, and moving to Surface Pro 2 with a 256 gig, huge difference. As you guys can see, and if you guys can see that, let me zoom in a little bit here. As you guys can see, the capacity is 232 gigs. So it takes a big chunk of the OS and the recovery partitions and things like that. But I have free 202 gigs. Keep in mind, I have quite an amount of reports on here, a good amount of photos that I got from my Oahu trip, and applications that I've installed to manage our server, among with other things. So to me, that's pretty good, 202. And coming from 128 to 256, I don't have to worry about storage anymore, versus where I had the original one. So definitely no worries about that. 8 gigs of RAM, I was able to use the 8 gigs of RAM, as this is a 64-bit. I have applications of 64-bit. It was like Excel, for example. I have an Excel in 64-bit. It was really utilizing more than 4 gigs of RAM, which which in the long run actually helped me run more calculations on Excel. So definitely a huge help with more RAM and more hard drive space and the battery life. Now the questions that a lot of you guys have, or some others have, is it worth the upgrade? In my opinion, for someone that's a heavy user, I would say definitely. I mean, it is a huge, to me, it was enough reason for me to upgrade. Not only it had the Haswell processor, Core i5. Not only that, it has 8 gigs of RAM for superb multitasking, very snappy, utilizing the 64-bit architecture of Windows 8.1, and 256 gigs of RAM, hard drive or SSD. To me, that was enough. The battery alone was enough. Where my original Surface Pro, 3.5 hours, 4 hours of what I used, that wouldn't have lasted my whole trip on the plane. With this one, it did just that. Storage, I don't have to worry about it, although it gave me SkyDrive, plenty of storage in SkyDrive for free. I have other cloud storage, you know, Google Drive and Dropbox, all those things I have available. But now I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I was storing videos and photos on my trip, no problem. And so really that's the question. Is it worth the upgrade? I would say yes, it is worth the upgrade if you are using it more than just media consumption. But if you are not using media consumption if I was just a regular consumer and I already had the original Surface Pro, I would say no, it's not worth the upgrade. But someone like me that will utilize, that travels, that moves around a lot, that runs a lot of applications, yes, it's worth the upgrade. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like the video. The second part, before I let you guys go, what's made a huge difference for me is that another worth the upgrade for me, because on the old one, on the original Surface, original Surface was that the kickstand was just one level, just like this, which was a lot more difficult to. So on my original Surface, the stand was like in this position. Now, most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, I use the second level. It's actually a lot better for me to see, way better angle on the second level position versus the level 1. I know it doesn't look much of a difference, but really it makes a huge difference in my opinion, especially on your lap, on the bed, on the trip, laying it just like this in an angle, sitting a plane ride. It's a much better viewing angle than this, and it makes a huge difference. So just wanted to throw that in there because that was a big deal for me. And so again, as always, guys, don't forget to hit the likes and leave comments if you have any question. I answer them as best as I can. And basically, this is after 2 weeks of use. I will do another review after 1 month of use, and with a comparison with the original Surface Pro. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.